Thank you, Archer. Thank you. And now it's me. But not okay. So unlike Ranchan and Archer, I was not at WWDC this year, sadly. Um, but I've just read the change log of Expo. And so I will show you the changes that was impacting me personally. So it would be just a very small subset of the changes that occurred during WWDC 2017. So I will show you changes from iTunes Connect, from Xcode 9, and from Swift 4. So on iTunes Connect, quickly, they've added subtitles. So you got an application. So the images are slow to display because I'm on a playground, on Swift 4 playground. So yes, the subtitle. So you will have the title of your app, and you get a subtitle. Ooh. It will only work with application compatible with iOS 11. So then you will get app preview. So every time you're going to release an application, you will have to prepare 3 videos 30 seconds long. So now, whenever you're publishing an update to your application, prepare videos, 30 seconds recording of your app for in all device format. So do it for iPad small, iPad big, iPhone, iPhone Plus, etc. And do it for every languages you support. So you have like, I don't know, hundreds of videos to upload to iTunes Connect. Maybe use Fastlane or something. So those videos will be mute. So there will be no sound. When by default, the user can still activate the sound, but just make their videos thinking that people will not hear anything. And finally, as a third App Store feature that is added to your apps is a promotional text that I would say is a dynamic part of your description. So when you're describing your app, the promotional text, you can change it anytime. So every day, if you want to change the description of your app, you can do it by using this promotional text feature. Okay, now let's go to Xcode 9 Beta 2, which was released in the past 24 hours, so it's quite recent. So yeah, if Xcode 9, if you're still in beta, so you cannot use it for publishing your apps yet. Even if you try to use Xcode 8 with Swift 4, it will not work. You're really stuck for at least a couple of months to publish apps with Xcode 8 Swift 3.1. So if you want to play using the same code, you can put some conditionals on Swift 3.2 or higher. It works for 4.0, of course, and you can get conditional code. Okay, Xcode 9 is dropping support for 32-bit simulators. It means you can still, or is it too small to read? Or is it okay? Okay. You can still build for ARM V7. Yeah, no. You can still build for this stuff. And for many. many quotes. And you can still write for D7S is mine. Okay. But you will not be able to test it with simulator. And you will not be able to test it actually with a real device as well. If you try to plug your real device to Xcode, you will not be able to test it on those architecture. You will only be able to test it on ARM64. So debugging only works on 64-bit. So tell your boss that you don't want to support iPhone 4S anymore, finally. Tell him. Yeah. But no worry, it's still, Swift 4 is still compatible with iOS 7. So you can, if you want, you can still continue to support iOS 7, if you want. So, what's new in Xcode 9? What else? There's an edit in all stuff. So they call it the refactoring. I should have tested, so I just copy paste some stuff. I think if you now put some command click on a word, you get a contextual menu. You can either go to the definition, which was in Xcode 8 was when you could click command click, it was going to the definition, and now it's giving you a menu, and you got an edit in all scope, which is refactoring, and you see now I can edit grid to greetings. Okay, I'm so good at writing. Yeah, and it's renamed everywhere in multiple files, etc. So they've added a new icon size in Xcode. This icon size was already existing in iTunes Connect. So you were already asking it to your boss, please give, or to your designer, please give me a big icon like that. But now you can store this icon in your Git repository, in your Xcode project as well, because they put a little space for placeholder for that. And they've introduced color literals and color name. So I think I got a small demo. Let's see. So I've created a new project. My view controller is empty. I go in my assets. So I see this new 1024 pixel size marketing icon. And I will add a color set. Always at the very bottom here. It's blur. So instead of adding an image, I will add a color. So my color, what will it be? So I can customize my color for different devices. Then I will put maybe some blue. Okay. Beautiful. Okay, we got the color. Then I give it a name. I will call it, Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola. Got a Coca-Cola. I go back to my view controller. In my snippet from behind me, I can drag and drop my color. Okay, that's one of the new features. I can drag and drop colors from my snippet. And you can also, so that's one way, that's a color literal way to do it. But you can also write explicitly UI color. And sadly, the auto-completion for this one doesn't work. But if I know that it's from named, so the auto-completion doesn't work yet. But if I know it, I should be able to use it like welcome. Okay. So doing it like that, I got the same feature as image name with color name, and it works. So that was the whole thing I will show for demo, no more. Hiding. Yeah, what the color named only works for iOS 11, will not work with iOS 10 sadly, so you will probably not use it. Okay, so in Xcode 9 you got a new Git tab. So if you look at your project architecture, the second tab in the very top left, the second tab is the Git tab. So you got your branches, and you can do some pull, push, commit, merge. You can do everything from this tab. There's not much because it's just a new project. Yeah. Oh, I did some commits actually. Ooh. Okay. Didn't mean to show you. So let's hide it again. Okay. So Xcode 9 fixed the support for XC checkout and XC SCM blueprint, which means now they will no more change themselves based on your device, computer, user path. So they will not change their path every time you clone your repository to somewhere else. So now with Xcode 9, you don't need to ignore XC checkout and XC SCM blueprint anymore. So now a minimal git ignore just needs to be one line for Xcode. You just need to ignore your XC user data folder, and that's all. Everything else is for all things. It's and for if you want to support JetBrains product, that's nice as well. And then there are many more things about Xcode 9, but not today. Just wanted to show a few things only. But I will talk about Objective-C. Yeah, Objective-C. Okay, that's my only slide about Objective-C, but it deserves one line of code. So in Objective-C, in Xcode 9 only, not Xcode 8, you got the @available keyword added. And you can finally put easily, without macro, conditional code in Objective-C. And this @available in Objective-C is exactly the same as @available from Swift. So the same construct you had with shop available in Swift, you got it as @available in Objective-C. Swift, finally Swift. That's my favorite. So now we moved from Xcode 8 was in Swift 3.1 to Xcode 9 3.2. And I will start with a difference between 3.1 and 3.2 is that Swift 3.2 is API stable with Swift 4.0. What does it mean? It means if you have codes, dependencies, like framework dependencies, one built with Swift 3.2 and one built with Swift 4.0, you can use different Swift versions in the same application. Finally, we can mix different Swift versions. But it doesn't work with 3.1, so you cannot mix 3.1 and 3.2 or 3.1 and 4.0. This is past. It's only this feature, this compatibility is only as mixing Swift versions only comes with Xcode 9. I don't know for the future if they will keep compatibility with 3.2 forever and ever. We will see. Next, so Swift 3.2. I will come to Swift 4 a little bit later. Because I was using the swap keyword in my code, so I noticed that it got deprecated from and you cannot swap two elements of your array anymore, like with this syntax. But it's super nice. They gave a nicer and safer syntax, because the previous syntax, by calling by swapping two elements, was having a little bit of unpredictability on its behavior. The new syntax is well defined. What else I noticed new in Swift 3.2? Well, it will not affect anyone, I think, but it did affect me, like I give you here. So I had an extension with a static function in my extension. And in this static function, I was using the minimum function, which is part of the Swift, So I was a minimum of two numbers. And when I was using Swift 3.1, I was breaking it like that. And now in Swift 3.2, it's an error to write it like that. Error, use of min refers to instance method rather than global function min. So now use the Swift to reference a global function. So it's not even a warning that now it's directly an error. So you need to be explicit when you're using the minimum in a static function. I don't know if it's a bug or what. It doesn't affect non-static function. It only affects static function. Okay, Swift 4. Swift 4, my presentation is a little bit stolen from Ole Beijman, that you may have seen his repository on GitHub, what's new in Swift 4. So it's very interesting. So this link, I decided to write 4 lines of code to show you a Cœur code if you want to get to this link more easily. So I really like in iOS you just need, actually you can do it in 3 lines of code. Yeah, 3 lines of code are enough to show a QR code. Okay. The H here is for high quality, not for high zero. Next. Oh, sorry. Yeah, again. Yeah, you will find it. So we've seen it a little bit earlier, but in Swift 4 you got multi-line support. So you do a triple quote, and you can put anything inside. Don't overuse it. Use it only like if you have to do some SQL statements or JSON code that you want to put, or JavaScript, but don't use it, for instance, for comments. And for comments, use a markdown syntax. Don't use multi-line comments. Like that. Another news is string is a collection again, because in Swift 1, string was a collection. In Swift 2, it was no more collection, and you had to do your string dot character view. Anyone remember about character view to get a count of the dot characters to count the number of characters? Well, now you can count the number of characters in a string without writing dot characters. I think you can still access dot characters, but you don't need to anymore. So you can also loop on all the characters, etc. So it got all the properties. The string got the properties of the collection. That's nice. Okay, so now I wanted to say something very, 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 very bad about Swift 4. This is called, and you will find it on internet as SE0110. So it's not binary number, it's a decimal number. Okay, but so one day, long time ago, someone said that right now it is possible to write a closure which takes x as a parameter as an or x and y. And depending how you write it with either one argument or two arguments, then the compiler and the interpretation will be very different. Your x here will be a tuple, as if you write xy, it will be two arguments instead of a tuple and something. So they made a proposal to change it, and their proposal what was the solution that they proposed? It was more than 1 year ago. They said, oh, let's give up the syntax F2. We will say we will forbid syntax 2. We will only allow one argument. Consequently, when Swift 4 was released, only one argument was allowed in your closures, and you could only use $0 because you only had one argument in your closures. So you couldn't use $1, $2. They did not exist anymore. At least that's what happened in my code. All my $1, I had to replace them. Your $1, you cannot access it. Instead, you access $0.1. So all my $1 became $0.1, $2 became $0.2. Well, there was a lot of complaint about that. So what happened? Hopefully, it was rolled back in Xcode 9 Beta 2 yesterday. This Swift 4 evolution was cancelled. So now you can use the old syntax again. You will no worry, it did not happen. Okay, not only did they really, and not only it was rolled back, but the manager who previously approved SE0110 lost his job on that day. It's true. It was Chris Ladner. It's a joke because he lost his job as in a different company, so it was totally unrelated, just a coincidence. It's a joke. Now let's go to something more serious. So Swift 4 does not have the previous change. It has one-sided ranges. One-sided ranges is instead of having a range with a minimum and a maximum, you will only put a minimum or you will only put a maximum. For instance, if you write 5 ... it means you are going from the 5th index to infinite. You don't have to explicitly put the maximum. So it's the equivalent of going from 5 to the end. So it works into two directions. I could write it ... 5. It works as well. And it also works with less or equal strictly. So those are the one-sided ranges. You don't need to have to write the two bounds. I don't know if it works with zero-sided range. Oh yeah, it works with zero-sided range. Okay, and you can get I just tested now. So it also works apparently with zero-sided range, and you can get the book. I don't know if it's very useful. Okay, it works. Okay, private declarations visible in same file extensions. So the private keyword is now a little bit less private than it used to be in Swift 3, because you can still access private values in extensions which are in the same file. That's very important. So your private keyword is little bit now like 5 private for extensions only for extensions, not if you're outside the extension. Here, array.storage, my array.storage, because I'm outside an extension, I cannot access it. They will tell me it's private. So it's still private as in the scope is inside it needs to be in your definition range. And now apparently they consider extensions in the same file to be part of the definition range. So It's nice. You can write nicer extensions like that. I like it. So the Codable, very nice feature. It was presented by Guanchan, almost finished. They will add, so it's not yet available in Exodus Beta 2, but they will add reduce with it out, which means doing the reduce, using the reduce keyword with a mutable structure. In out is to make your structure mutable instead of constant. So you will have some performances improvement in the future when using reduce. That's about all I wanted to say about Swift 4 yet. Now, just a word on iOS 11. iOS 11 introduced HEIF. The H is again for high. Everywhere in this year they put the keyword high everywhere. So it's to on top of JPEG and PNG. Now you got this. It's a default format on iOS 11, starting I think iPhone 7 Plus. I think. But it's not yet supported by many things. But it will come. We'll see. And files.app is you can drag and drop in files.app. I haven't tried it because it's only on simulator. I didn't install the iOS 11 beta. macOS High Sierra, this is a code name from the new macOS. People like it or not, or don't like it, but there's a funny thing about High Sierra is now providing the new Apple file system, APFS by default. It was available as a beta feature in Sierra, but now it's in High Sierra by default. So what is APFS? It's an evolution from HFS. Okay, what is HFS? Well, HFS is a previous file system you had in all your Mac for so many years. But please, if someone says HSF and mix two letters, then what is HSF? It's actually High Sierra format, which was invented for something called a CD-ROM. I don't know if you're old enough to know what is a CD-ROM. It was before DVD. They call it a CD-ROM, and they had this file system High Sierra format. It's super old, but it's totally unrelated. So just if you want in an interview to talk about what is APFS, remember it's evolution from HFS, not HSF. And that's all. That was my last slide. Thank you. Because there are many more things in Xcode 9, in Swift, in iOS, in macOS, and just a few subsets. Question? Yes.
Just want to confirm from you that the prefix private and file private, you mentioned that private is for the same file extension that the coding extension can access the variables, but is that a difference between the file private previously? File private?
Yes, there is a difference. So, in this example, so storage is a private of my structure. So because it is private, I cannot access array.storage. You got the error. But if I put it as file private, it will work. File private means I can access it anywhere in the file. Private, it means I can only access it in the scope, so means between the starting brackets and the end brackets, and in extensions.
Okay, so that means the private can, basically the same file extension.
Same file extension only, not other file extension. So you cannot You cannot hack overfly.
So the private now has more restriction.
Less restrictions. Oh, compared to Swift 3, it has less restrictions. Compared to Swift 2, it has more. Yes, it depends. There was already an evolution from 2 to 3. Yeah, and this one we can say counterbalance the change from counterbalance because it was more restrictive in Swift 3 and now it's less restrictive in Swift 4. Yes. More questions? Don't turn it off in case someone has a question. No? No, it's fine? Well, thank you all for coming. I hope you enjoy CocoaHeads and you'll come next month. Thank you very much.